GARI and kouchi GARI Monday. We started with circling, making him step, turning the wheel, working that kouchi GARI. And if you get that, that's great. But now this week we're working OUCHI GARI, so we can connect it by if he steps out, I turn the weight onto the leg that's closest to me, and now I advance with this trail leg, with this karaoke step, and then I do this semicircle. I draw like this half circle with my toe on the floor. I pull his heel forward, move his foot in the heel toe direction as I'm driving my weight into him and trying to finish with the OUCHI GARI. So we can use that kouchi setup that we used last week, or we can go into another setup where the guy's got a right leg lead. I circle away from the leg that I want. I pull the collar, get him to step, turn the weight onto the leg I'm attacking, closing the distance with the trail leg, hooking and driving. So that's nice if it works that way, but sometimes you gotta stab at it a little bit, right? So same thing, I get in here, I hook, and sometimes you just gotta keep hopping, and it takes a little bit of work to get it. So we can start with the OUCHI GARI, and now we'll talk about, obviously if my OUCHI GARI doesn't work because he steps out, then I go to my kouchi GARI, right, from last week. Steps out, I'm going OUCHI GARI. Then the other way that, stay in there please. The other way that he gives me a problem is he drives his weight forward. So I don't want to change too much of what I have going on. I have a good leg entanglement here, but his weight's going that way. So I want to help him go where he's already going. Right? I'm trying to help him get there. So I'm leaning this way. Once he leans forward, I do a back step, kind of moving out of the way, and then I lift. I'll hit him with the Uchimata. It's not always going to work that way. It's nice when it does, especially if you got a good uki. But realistically, sometimes you get in here, he leans forward, I transfer his weight forward, and I start to just hop. If I don't get the initial, I just keep hopping, and eventually I'll get it. Vice versa. If I feel him leaning forward, I can karaoke step, look for my Uchimata, maybe I hit it. If he starts to sag on it, I go back to my OUCHI GARI. So I want to get good at just going back and forth, stabbing with it. Right? If I can get him forward, that's good. If I feel him leaning backwards, that's good. Just keep hopping and get comfortable in here, learning how to feel where he wants to go. Sometimes when I keep hopping, I can just step across and hit him with the HARAI GOSHI too. So, circle, 1, turn the weight, OUCHI GARI. Circle, make him step. If I have to stab at it, just keep hopping into it. His weight goes forward. I circle back with my posting leg, taking his weight forward, and I try to just keep hopping, get comfortable. It's a great uki. Be a good uki for your partner. If I want to go Uchimata first, maybe I hit it. Just get comfortable in here. All right, take him wherever I feel him leading. Eventually you're going to find something. So let's work OUCHI GARI, Uchimata, just for now. Let's go, 1, 2, 3. I'm not getting a high grip. Let's not go with that high grip, and I'll explain why in a little bit. It's a low grip. I'm scooping the leg, and then I'm sealing him off on this corner here. I'm trapping his arms so he can't post. Again, if the arms are out, I look to attack the arms. If the arms are in, I look to attack the base, and it becomes a little bit of a game, right? If I attack the arms when they're out, he'll bring the arms in. I'll attack the base. If I attack the base, he'll try to put his arms out, and then I'll attack the arms. So try to make it a game. So number 1, we're just going to kick the shoulder up towards the corner where he can't post. I'm looking in that direction, and I use this hand under the thigh to push him and finish the sweep. That was number 1. 2, as I go for this sweep, if he manages to post his arm between my leg and my arm, I'll push the collar away a little bit, swing this leg around the shoulder as I use this hand under the leg to pull my ear towards his knee, and I'll catch that arm bar. Don't leave your hand in there. Try to wing down, maybe grab your hamstring and just take that arm lock there. And then the third option was inviting that triangle. Same thing. As I go for this technique, I swing my leg out wide, which invites him. I give him the chance to post, but I get him to post where I want him to post, which is under my leg, and then I come back for that triangle really quickly. Try to cross the arm, bring the legs towards me, grab the shin bone, foot on the hip, make my angle, and I squeeze that triangle, right? Some of you guys don't have the legs for a triangle. You don't, whether it's your legs are short or your legs are big or my partner's big, whatever the reason is, I like this technique. I call it a diamond. That means if I can cross the arm, I keep my feet crossed, I squeeze my knees together and I pull on the head, and sometimes I can get that choke there. And then if the arm's ever behind the back, we'll go into that teepee. I roll my knees forward, I go with the S grip behind my knees, and then I use my arms to pinch my knees together, and then I straighten my legs, which also squeezes my knees together, and that teepee is really nice there too. And mustache, he goes with a backwards triangle a lot when people tuck their arm there, and he has a lot of success with this. Any details that you would add to just this besides
putting your knee and your heel to the ceiling to get it like
this knee?
You gotta like switch your hip. Where your knee goes to the mat.
You drop it down a little bit, is that what you're saying? Like this? A little bit more like that? And then just sweeps from here. Any details with your hands you do at the end here?
You can't, pulling down on the head.
Pull on the head a little bit.
If not, you can start attacking the arm like doing the
Kimura?
roll of the Kimura.
Over here?
Yeah,
Okay.
straight arm bar.
Yep. So he has a lot of success with that. Guys put their hand behind the back, he switches that triangle up, and I see him tap a lot of people with that. So again, grabbing the collar, scooping the leg, trying to seal this arm off so he can't post if I want the sweep. If the arms are in, I take the sweep. If he manages to post, then I'm ready to switch into armbar. If I invite the post under the leg, I come back and I catch that head and arm trap, crossing the arm, trying to lock my triangle and get that 1. 2, I'll go over the series or the situation where I couldn't lock a triangle. For whatever reason everybody here might have, it's going to happen at some point, right? Whether it's a big guy or it's your legs or whatever it is, I want to try to see if I can finish it without getting a perfect triangle. So I just scissor my feet, straighten my legs, and I pull on the head, and I kind of call that a diamond. If the arm's behind the back, I roll my knees towards me, I make that S grip behind my knees, and then I pinch my arms together as I straighten my legs upwards, which also tightens my knees for the teepee. And then mustache, we'll call this one the mustache, this backwards triangle here. Just drop that knee down a little bit and squeeze right there. You guys got it? Let's try it out. 1, 2, 3. So what he was saying just now, I probably should have him coach me up through this, is he tries to hit the regular triangle, but when they go backside here, he says he grabs this leg here, he brings his legs in, and then he wants the calf high on the shoulder, is what I think he used. Locks this triangle, and then he's pinching his knees together as he's trying to get the triangle here. And he has a lot of success here. But when he doesn't, this hand snakes underneath the arm, and he works into that huggy where he wings it up and starts to attack the arm. And if the guy's lucky enough to snake out of this, he's crossing his arm back up, and then he's going right back to his regular triangle. So again, he's trying to go regular triangle. Guy tucks his hand behind the back. He grabs that shin bone, makes his angle, trying to get the calf high on the shoulder, locking the triangle, and then he's working that pinch. And again, I've seen him have a lot of success with this. But if you're not getting the tap, then this hand's going to snake underneath to get a huggy right here. That huggy's going to be really tight. You can block it where the wrist gets trapped in your elbow pit. Sometimes you'll catch it there. Sometimes it'll slide up into your neck pit here. You can hug it in here. And then if he's lucky enough to roll it all the way through, then I would switch the triangle back to the original triangle I was trying to get anyways. You guys got it?
Awesome.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3. The stash.
You got it?
We'll just call it the stash. So he goes for this same technique. And not just in this situation, but anytime somebody really grabs high on my collar, that's why I said if you grab a little bit lower, it's safer. If he goes high collar on me and creates this angle and gets me to post between here, he can armbar me for sure, but if I'm quick, I can get that blade right above his tricep here and try to pinch his wrist inside my shoulder in here, and I'll catch this huggy a lot. Not just from here, but anytime somebody's trying to push away from a high collar, I look to attack that arm. Sometimes I get it, but sometimes I get them just to let go and stop whatever attack they were doing. So option 1 is this little huggy off this sequence here. Boom, I end up posting, my arm's in danger, he starts to throw that leg around. I'm gonna look to catch really quickly here. I use that blade right above that elbow, I secure it and pinch my shoulder, get it here. You can cup it too, you can try to just cup it here, but I just prefer this. So that's one option. And then the other one is anytime somebody reaches under my knee, I try to sit heavy on it so he can't get his hand out, and then I'll try to go 2 hands underneath this elbow and try to pull it up. We used to call that a Singapore sling, I think is what it was called. Just pulling up on this elbow right here, Singapore sling. So if he reaches under the knee pit there, sit on it, I'm taking a chance a little bit by crossing myself up in here. So I got to go all out in here. I'm gonna just try to use my elbows as my thigh and his hip here as like a frame to really kind of preacher curl this and get that curl while still keeping weight down.
Can we see that from this side?
He reaches under that knee pit. I sit on it heavy. His arm's trapped in there. 2 hands underneath that elbow. And then I'm just pulling right here. There's a bit of an arm bar right there. And then the first one, if he tries to go into that technique, or anytime a guy goes high collar and my arm ends up here, pinch and try to catch that guy. It's got to be kind of quick. If he's low grip, it's still kind of there, but he has a better chance at letting the collar go and getting his hand out of it. I don't have his hand totally trapped with my neck. And then again, I can always come back here, straighten him out a little bit. You guys got it? 1, 2, 3.